The first light of dawn touched the edges of the hills, painting the sky in soft amber. Nuru stood barefoot on the red earth, her hands open toward the horizon. The air smelled of wet soil and mango trees, the rhythm of birds blending with the gentle hum of the wind. For years she had searched for meaning, in rivers, in songs, in strangers' eyes. But this morning was different. The silence around her wasn't empty, it was full, whispering secrets she had never heard before. As the sun rose higher, its light brushed her cheeks, and she smiled, not because the world had changed, but because she had. Her eyes no longer searched for what was missing, they began to see what had always been there. Behind her, the small village of Lujura awakened, children laughing, drums echoing softly in the distance. Life moved in rhythm, slow and gentle. Nuru whispered to herself, life was never hiding, I just needed to open my eyes. She took a deep breath, the scent of morning filling her heart. That was the moment the world truly began for her, not with thunder but with peace. The path to the river curved through fields of golden grass, soft beneath Nuru's bare feet. The morning sun shimmered on the water like scattered glass. She had come here since childhood, but today the river looked different, alive, as if waiting for her. When she bent to touch the surface, the ripples danced away and returned to her hands, cool and kind. You've changed, Nuru, the wind seemed to say. No, she whispered, smiling. I've just begun to see. Nearby, an old woman named Mama Imani washed bright cloths in the shallows. Her silver hair caught the light like threads of moon. You carry peace in your eyes, child, she said softly. Few learn that so young. Nuru sat beside her, watching the water twist and play with sunlight. The river told stories of children who once swam there, of rain that carried songs from the mountains. Each sound, each sparkle felt like a memory calling her home. For the first time, Nuru didn't feel small. She felt connected to the sky, the river, the laughter far away. It was as if life itself was breathing with her. As she left, the river's reflection caught her face, a girl no longer searching, but beginning to understand. The sun climbed higher, scattering golden threads across the village of Lujura. Nuru walked slowly through the open fields, feeling the breeze kiss her skin. It carried the scent of jasmine and wild grass, a soft melody only she seemed to hear. Every note in the wind told a story, a laugh from the past, a whispered promise, the gentle rhythm of life itself. Nuru paused and closed her eyes, letting the air fill her chest. She realized that for the first time, she wasn't chasing meaning, she was simply living it. In the distance, a lone baobab tree stood proudly, its branches swaying like arms reaching for the sky. Nuru approached it and rested her hand on its bark. She felt warmth, strength, and a kind of ancient calm that wrapped around her heart. Nearby, children played hide and seek, their laughter floating like tiny bells in the wind. Nuru smiled, noticing how life's beauty existed in small, unnoticed moments. A bird landing softly, a leaf turning gold, a smile shared without words. Life, she whispered, is a song, and I am part of it. The wind seemed to answer, lifting her hair, carrying her thoughts, wrapping her in quiet light. In that moment, Nuru knew she didn't need to search anymore. The world had always been singing. She only needed to listen. With each step back to the village, Nuru felt lighter, as if the melody of life itself had entered her soul and would never leave. Nuru wandered beyond the village, following a narrow path that led to a hidden garden. The entrance was marked by an ancient wooden arch entwined with blooming vines. Sunlight filtered through the leaves, painting the ground in patches of gold and green. She stepped inside and felt the quiet embrace of the garden. Flowers swayed gently, their colors vivid and pure, deep purples, soft yellows, and fiery oranges. Each petal seemed to pulse with life, whispering secrets only the heart could hear. A soft stream ran through the middle, its water singing a song of patience and peace. Nuru knelt beside it, letting her fingers touch the cool flow. She thought about how the world often rushed by, how people overlook simple moments like this. Here, everything existed in harmony, every leaf, every breeze, every heartbeat. A gentle rustle behind her made her turn. A small bird perched on a branch, tilting its head as if inviting her to listen. Nuru laughed softly, feeling connected to everything around her. In this quiet garden, she realized that life's beauty wasn't hidden. It was waiting for those who paused, who looked, who truly saw. She sat under a flowering tree, closing her eyes. Light filtered through the branches, warming her face. For the first time, Nuru felt complete peace, a feeling so tender it made her chest swell with gratitude. The garden didn't just reflect the world outside, it reflected the light inside her, calm, bright, and eternal. Nuru stepped out of the quiet garden, the sunlight warming her face. She wandered through the open fields, watching how the light danced across the golden grass, casting playful shadows that seemed to move in rhythm with the wind. Every sway of the branches, every flutter of a bird's wings felt like part of a secret performance, a dance the world had been practicing all along, and she had finally learned to notice. Nuru twirled slowly, letting the wind lift her arms, feeling the sunlight play upon her skin. In a distant corner, butterflies flitted among wildflowers, their wings sparkling in hues she had never truly seen before. Nuru laughed quietly, a sound that merged with the gentle murmur of the breeze and the soft rhythm of the land. Even the river seemed to join her dance, rippling and sparkling, reflecting the sun like tiny shards of golden light. She bent down, letting her hands skim across the water, feeling joy ripple through her very soul. For the first time, Nuru understood that happiness wasn't hidden in faraway dreams or grand gestures. It was in the small, ordinary moments, a sunbeam brushing her face, the rustle of leaves, the laughter of a distant child. As shadows lengthened and the sunlight softened, Nuru paused on a hilltop, watching the world glow. Her heart swelled with gratitude, for she had finally learned to see the dance of life, every light and every shadow. Nuru wandered into a grove of ancient trees, their trunks wide and gnarled, roots deep into the earth. The sunlight filtered softly through the leaves, creating patterns on the forest floor that shifted with every breeze. The air smelled of earth, moss, and hidden flowers, filling her lungs with calm. As she walked, she began to hear something subtle, a gentle murmur, like voices in a language she had always known but never understood. The trees seemed to whisper to one another, leaves brushing softly, branches swaying in rhythm. Nuru sat beneath the largest tree, feeling its solid presence. "You speak," she whispered. "And I hear." For the first time, she felt a conversation between her heart and the world around her, a silent, deep understanding. A single bird landed on a low branch, watching her with curious eyes. Nuru smiled, feeling connected to every living thing in the grove. The whispers of the trees told her stories of patience, of seasons passing, of the quiet power of growth. She realized that life's beauty wasn't in loud moments or grand adventures, but in these subtle, hidden whispers, moments that taught her to slow down, to notice, to breathe. As the wind rustled the leaves, Nuru closed her eyes and let herself melt into the forest's quiet song. For the first time, she felt fully present, a part of the world's gentle heartbeat, serene and infinite. Nuru climbed a gentle hill, the earth soft beneath her feet, and the wind carrying the scents of distant flowers. As she reached the top, the world stretched endlessly before her, painted in hues of gold, orange, and soft pink. The horizon glowed like it held every promise she had ever imagined. She stood still, letting the warmth of the sun fill her heart. For the first time, she saw not just the land but the possibilities, every path, every turn, every quiet corner waiting to be explored. The golden light seemed to whisper, "This is life, Nuru. It has always been yours to see." A pair of small birds danced across the sky, their wings catching the sunlight in a shimmering display. Nuru smiled, feeling as if the horizon itself was alive, singing softly with each flutter. She remembered all the moments that had led her here, the river, the garden, the wind, the trees. Each step, each breath, each quiet observation had built a path to this golden moment. With a deep inhale, Nuru raised her arms, embracing the warmth and light. She felt hope coursing through her veins, a gentle reminder that life's beauty is endless if one chooses to see it. As the sun dipped lower, painting shadows that danced beside her, Nuru knew she was ready to continue her journey, with eyes open, heart full, and spirit shining as brightly as the golden horizon. Nuru followed the familiar path to the river, its waters shimmering under the afternoon sun. Today, the river seemed different, calmer, deeper, as if it were inviting her to look not just at its surface but into herself. She knelt at the edge, staring at her reflection. For a moment, she barely recognized the girl who had once wandered in search of meaning. Now, in her eyes, she saw peace, curiosity, and a gentle joy that seemed to ripple outward. The river whispered softly, the water reflecting the trees, the clouds, and the golden light, blending into one perfect image of harmony. Nuru traced the ripples with her fingers, watching them spread, a reminder that every small action, every thought, carried energy that shaped the world around her. Memories drifted through her mind, mornings spent under the sun, laughter echoing across fields, the quiet lessons of flowers and trees. Each memory felt like a brushstroke painting the story of her life, vibrant and alive. She closed her eyes, letting the river speak in its subtle language. The wind carried melodies she had never noticed before, soft hums of gratitude, whispers of wonder, and the steady rhythm of life itself. Opening her eyes, Nuru smiled at the reflection staring back at her. She realized that life had always been a mirror, showing beauty to those willing to truly see. And now, she was ready to step forward, carrying the river's calm within her heart. As the day began to soften, Nuru climbed the hill once more, her bare feet brushing the cool grass. The sky was a masterpiece, deep orange melting into soft pink, and streaks of gold dancing across the clouds. She paused, feeling the world hold its breath, waiting with her. The sunset seemed alive, painting every tree, every river ripple, and every distant hill with warmth. Nuru closed her eyes, letting the colors sink into her soul. For a long moment, the world was quiet, as if listening to her heartbeat. She whispered a promise to herself, "I will carry this light, this calm, this beauty in my heart, wherever I go." The words weren't loud, but they carried weight, a gentle vow to honor life's quiet wonders. A flock of birds passed overhead, their wings catching the last sunbeams. Nuru smiled, feeling connected to everything, past, present, and the promise of tomorrow. Every shadow, every glow reminded her that life was a delicate balance of light and stillness. Sitting on the hilltop, she watched the sun slowly dip beyond the horizon. She understood now that the world didn't need changing. She only needed to see it differently, to let her heart guide her vision. The sunset whispered its own promise back, that beauty, peace, and joy were always within reach, and Nuru's journey had only just begun. Night fell gently over Lujura, wrapping the village in a soft blanket of cool air and quiet whispers. Nuru walked to a small hill outside the village, where the stars stretched endlessly across the sky, each one shining like a distant promise. She lay down on the soft grass, letting the night embrace her. The wind carried the scent of jasmine and damp earth, and somewhere far away, a river hummed its timeless melody. For the first time in her life, Nuru felt completely still, her heart beating in sync with the universe. Above her, constellations glimmered and danced, telling stories older than memory. She traced shapes with her eyes, imagining tales of light and hope woven across the heavens. Each star seemed to whisper, "Life is beautiful. You only need to see it." Nuru closed her eyes and inhaled deeply, letting gratitude and calm wash over her. She remembered the river, the garden, the dancing sunlight, and the whispers of the trees. Each moment, once fleeting, now felt eternal. Opening her eyes, she smiled softly. The world was alive with subtle magic, a harmony she had always longed for but never fully noticed. In this quiet night, with the stars as her companions, Nuru understood the depth of life's beauty, calm, infinite, and luminous. For the first time, she felt entirely present. Tomorrow would come, the sun would rise, and yet the quiet light she carried inside would remain, guiding her steps and keeping her heart open. The first light of dawn broke gently across the horizon, spilling gold and pink over the fields, the river, and the hills. Nuru stood atop her favorite hill, the world waking slowly beneath her feet. Every breeze, every rustle of leaves, and every bird's song felt like a celebration, a quiet festival of life itself. She breathed deeply, feeling the warmth of the sun on her skin, the cool grass beneath her hands. In this moment, she realized that every step she had taken, through gardens, rivers, sunlight, and stars, had led her here. Each experience had whispered the same truth: life was beautiful, not because it was perfect, but because it could be seen with open eyes and an open heart. Nuru lifted her face toward the rising sun. She felt a joy so profound it made her chest swell, and her heart hum. Every shadow from yesterday, every fleeting worry, had melted away, leaving only light, calm, steady, and infinite. She whispered softly, "This is everything. Life, light, hope, all in one heartbeat." The village slowly stirred below, but Nuru felt a rhythm all her own. She knew she could walk any path, embrace any day, and carry this quiet illumination wherever she went. Life had never been hidden. She had just learned to see it. As the sun fully rose, spilling brilliance over every hill and tree, Nuru smiled, not searching, not wishing, only living. And in that pure, golden moment, the world felt complete, peaceful, and endlessly beautiful.